run differential, but I think both of those are trending in the right direction. Okay, what do I mean? Well, offensively, they get Chris Davis back. You got Olsen getting healthier by the day. You got Profar again, who I've dogged earlier, having a great year. Oakland's offense is trending in the right direction. Their pitching is getting ready to get a big shot in the arm with Jesus Luzardo. So, what am I trying to say? By Athletics, they're going to make a run. Okay? That's just my 2 cents. You could take it or you can leave it. Oakland is getting ready to go on a run, guys. Now, that's my breakdown of the National League. What's going on? Excuse me, the American League. What's going on in the National League? Well, a lot. Starting the East, Phillies are still holding on to the lead, but man, the Braves are surging, aren't they, guys? The thing about the Braves, Austin Riley's really been a shot in the arm for them. They are so young, and they're trending in the right direction. They're only +8 on the differential. But they've scored 291 runs already, guys. 291 runs already. Now, they've given up 283. So that's not good. But with the young pitching that they have, I feel that they've kind of babied these guys enough at this point. It's time to take the training wheels off and let's find out what Tuki Toussaint has. Let's find out what some of these other young pitchers have. It's time to stop throwing out there. If Fulte's not going to pitch, if Gosman's not going to pitch, let's see what these kids have. Because obviously they're doing well with the other kids offensively. These kids have the talent. Let's let them pitch. Okay. So watch out for the Braves. I agree with Andrea. I was listening to her this morning. The Braves are getting ready to take off. If you can buy into Atlanta Braves, you should do so anywhere you can. Okay, pitching, hitting, anywhere. Guys, we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, just back and forth on Arnie's show. The Mets and the Nationals, they're out. In my opinion, this is a 2-team race. Okay, the other part of that is, at what point do those teams decide that they're out and become sellers, right? So there's definitely a lot of talent, like Arnie was well documented. The Nationals and the Mets both have a ton of talent that they could be rebuilding their farm system by getting rid of. Okay, the other team, and I want to talk about them. They're kind of interesting. The Miami Marlins. Yeah, they stink, but guess what? Everybody talks about how bad they were last year, and they were bad, and how bad they were at the beginning of this year. Guess what's going on in Miami? They're getting better, okay? Their offense, though, 189 runs scored. That is 102 runs worse than the Braves, okay? That is 81 runs worse than the next best team, or next worst team in the East. Guys, that's significant. That's really bad. But help is on the way, guys. Help is on the way. You have to understand that some of these young players have a considerable amount of value that are coming up. We'll talk about a couple of them later, okay? Watch out for these young Marlins. At the end of the year, they're going to be pesky. NL Central. Boy, it's a grab bag. One thing I'll say about this division, the Reds are ascending and the Pirates are descending. I do believe at this point the Pirates are now the worst team in that division. Cincinnati is playing well, as is notified by their +36 run differential. That is second best in the division behind only the Cubs. That's impressive, guys. That tells me they're getting ready to make a little run. The Pirates, on the other hand, are -68 the run differential. They are 11-17 at PNC Park, folks. That is not good. No bueno, as Andy says, right? So, what's going to happen to the Pirates? Who knows? But I still see this as a 3-person race or 3-team race. I think the Cardinals will stay in it, even though they've faltered lately. it really will be down to who wins games against the head-to-head. So it's an interesting Central Division. That's my home team, so I'm well tuned to those guys. So out west, like I said, the Dodgers are the cream of the crop. They are. I mean, you just look at their numbers. The best run differential in the National League. The most runs scored in the National League. Among the league leader or the National League in runs allowed, second it looks like in runs allowed behind the Reds. I mean, this team's got it going on. They're 9-1 in their last 10. They're 25-7 25-7 at home. They're impressive. They've already got a 9.5 game lead on the suddenly surging Colorado Rockies. Guys, let's give it up for the Rockies. They're really starting to take toll. So, what's going on there? They're also 9 of the last 10. They are now a plus 14 in run differential. They've scored 317 runs. Guys, this really all comes down to can they pitch enough to get them in the games? Because the offense is clearly impressive. They're getting ready to come on. Okay, so that's where we're at. That's our breakdown of the standings, guys. What are your thoughts? Did I miss anything? Anything you want to talk about? I'll move on in the meantime, but we can circle back. So, this is a big week. The month changed over. There's a lot of awards that were just handed out, and I don't think we talk about those enough. So, as you guys know that listen to me, you know that I like to celebrate that. So let's talk about it. The Major League Baseball does a nice job of handing out monthly awards to a whole bunch of different guys, and all of them deserving. Okay, well, almost all of them deserving. All of them deserving. Come on. Again, these guys are all pretty new to the scene, so they've not had many of these accolades, so they should celebrate it. So I'll get started first off. The NL Batter of the Month. How about Josh Bell, guys? So, in the month of May, Josh Bell hit 371. He hit 10 homers, 24 runs, and 28 RBIs. Okay? That, folks, is raking. So, on the season, the numbers are pretty impressive. 332, 18 home runs, 43 runs, and 53 RBIs. Guys, can you spell breakout? Josh Bell, like I said, he is one of the few bright spots in Pittsburgh. I would look for him to continue his success. I would hold tight to Josh Bell. The American League Batter of the Month, Mr. Rafael Devers. He had some surprising numbers when I broke this down. Okay, so for the month, he hit 330, 7 home runs, 20 runs, 19 RBIs. Guys, he had 3 stolen bases. I don't think of stolen bases when I look at Rafael Devers. I was impressed by that. And then I looked a little bit deeper. On the season, Devers has hit 316 with 8 homers. So he's hit most of his homers in May. 41 runs, 33 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases. Guys, is Rafael Devers a 5-star player? Just like that? I mean, if he steals 15 bags, that's a value, right? The pitchers of the month. So, in the National League, Hyun-Jin Ryu, well-deserving, 5-0 with a 0.48 ERA and a 0.72 whip. He had 30 Ks and 37.1 innings pitched. But guys, this isn't just a month. He's done this all year. He's 8-1 with a 1.48 ERA, an 0.81 whip, and 69 Ks to 73 innings pitched. I'm with Andy. I question whether he can stay healthy all year. But he's certainly proven that he is an elite pitcher. An elite pitcher. So congratulations to Ryu. The AL pitcher of the month was Mr. Giolito. Lucas Giolito. Here's a guy who is thought to be a bust. All of a sudden, the light turns on, and here this guy is. He's 6-0 in May, 1.03 ERA, 0.69 whip, and 48 Ks and 43.2 innings pitched. But again, just like Ryu, Giolito's done it all year long. 8-1 with a 2.54 ERA and 0.95 WHIP and 78 Ks and 67.1 innings pitched. Guys, he's figured it out. Lucas Giolito is having quietly one of the best years in baseball. So, congratulations to a guy that we all thought was quite possibly a bust. Well done. So, MLB also does a relief pitcher of the month, which I think is really cool. These guys are often unsung. They don't get credit. I really like to see these. So, Josh Hader was the NL Player of the Month, relief pitcher of the month. He's 1-1 with 5 saves, a 1.42 ERA, and a 0.63 WHIP. He had 21 Ks and 12.2 innings pitched. But here's the real numbers, guys. On the season, Mr. Hader, who's got to be getting tired, 1-3, 13 saves, 2.45 ERA, a 0.72 WHIP, and 57 Ks and 29.1 innings pitched. Guys, 57 Ks and 29 innings pitched is pretty darn good. I mean, that's pretty dominant. Speaking of dominant, how about Aroldis Chapman? Dude had 11 saves in the month of May. 11 saves. 0-0, 11 saves, and a 0.79 ERA. Pretty impressive stuff. 0.79 WHIP as well. 21 Ks and 12.2 innings pitched. Guys, Chapman's putting it all together. He's kind of been the glue at the back end of that bullpen. On the season, he's 0-1 with 17 saves, a 1.53 ERA, a 0.93 WHIP, 34 Ks and 23 innings pitched. Okay? So, congrats to all those guys. One more set of guys, which I found interesting. It's quite a contrast, right? And we all know Lenny's saying, but this is a true definition of going in opposite directions. The American League Rookie of the Month, Mr. Michael Chavis. Remember him, guys? We remember him fondly, right? That didn't work so well. So, on the season, I'll give you that first. He is hitting .264 on the season. He's got 10 homers, 22 runs, 28 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. Sounds good, right? You take that. That's a rookie. Absolutely. Here's the problem. I don't know how he won this for the month. Especially knowing what Griffin Canning's done out with the Angels. But he hit .219 in May. He did have 4 homers, 10 runs, and 15 RBIs. But I think maybe Mr. Canning got the shaft. Maybe there's someone else. But that's who comes to mind immediately. In the National League, it's pretty obvious. Austin Riley. Folks, I've been touting this guy for about 2 years. But boy, it's been above bar watching him play. He has been really impressive. So hats off to Austin Riley. So, for the month, which is also his season, he hit .328, 8 home runs in the month, 12 runs, and 22 RBIs, guys. So, really came out swinging. This guy's just 22 years old. Pretty interesting. Couple interesting stats. 22 RBIs ties Major League Baseball's record for the most RBIs through the first 16 games. Ties it. 22 runs batted in 16 games, ties a Major League Baseball record. Okay? I found that impressive. The other thing that I found that was pretty cool, he joined Rhys Hoskins, Trevor Story, and Carlos Delgado as the only players in MLB history with 8 homers in their first 16 games. Guys, if you're going to lump me in with those guys, I'll take that and run, right? So, lastly, and definitely not least, the guys I talk about